Military Academy. Let's do it, because I want to check one thing. Because one of the things the dev said was it was just... battle-hardened veterans, which wasn't working. No, that's not true. So now we have a level 3 general with still base stats. So they should have another 6 points spread out over this. Wilburn Mitchell. Tech Wizard, division speed up, consumption down. That's excellent for motorized as we have. Enduring is more defensive and supply consumption down, which is good. And then charismatic, or another supply consumption. What do those lead to? Enduring leads to Cannibal, which is more supply consumption, or Life Giver, which is experienced soldier losses. That's really nice, actually. Especially because we want to be trying to maintain as much manpower and experience as we can. Then Tough Leader is just more division defense, so you're going to be very good for an infantry commander. Aqua Boy Girl is invasion, prep time, and amphibious invasion. That's less useful. Charismatic would allow you to have more troops. Reduces your attrition. And then Inspirational, which is leader experience gain. And that leads to Beloved Leader, which is 10% recovery rate, but reduces defense. You're not terrible. That's for sure. Right, one thing I do want to do... Was there... I don't remember if we found a way of doing this. Was there a way of giving stats to generals? No, there's a way of giving experience and traits, but not stats. That's really annoying. Didn't we do that for Helfric? Yes, we did, but we did it by safe editing, not editing this. And it's going to be the same for everyone. So it's not that big a deal, except for the fact that because we have military academy trained generals, our generals should be better than somebody who isn't. Ah, no, it is a debuff because we start level 3 and that means it costs more to get to level 4. We really do need to do something to fix this. If everyone also has lower stats generals. That's... yeah, okay, so let me explain this a little bit better. That's true. If you've got military academy officers or battle-hardened soldiers, which start your generals at level 1 or level 2 or level 3. However, if you have local leaders, legendary wastelanders or proficient mercenaries, your generals will actually be better than my generals, because they start at level 1, meaning that they will promote faster. So even though we have the plus 4 stats from this, we should really have plus 10 stats. That's a big difference. That's a very, very big difference. And that's going to be further compounded by the fact that these 3 are going to be leveling up faster, and because every level you get 3 points instead of just the 2 or the 4 that we get, it will eventually be more. Because they could have up to 6 points, whereas we get 4. And we're also paying all the debuffs to do that. Not to mention the political power for actually leveling it up. Hell Loki. Once Thor gets over Jane, maybe. Nah, it's all about Tyr. Tyr's the awesome one. That guy was a legend. Tyr, the god of justice and war, and the former leader of the Asgard before Odin came in. And the cool story about Tyr, by the way, is when they captured Fenrir, which is the Hellhound, the way that they managed to tame Fenrir and put a collar around him so that he couldn't go around wreaking havoc and destroying stuff like Fenrir used to, is they persuaded him they were going to make a new collar for the Hellhound. And the Hellhound's like, cool, but I don't trust you. So I'm not going to take I'm not going to accept this collar. And then Tyr, being known as the god of justice and being truthful and honest, said, alright, I'm going to put my hand in your mouth. as a show of good faith, while they put this collar on you. We'll have the dwarves make it. It's going to be amazing. It's going to be such a cool collar. And I'll leave my hand inside your mouth. So if anything is wrong with this collar, you just bite down, take my hand. Of course, the collar was actually a restraining collar, meaning that the Fenrir was bound to that location, couldn't leave, and like caused terror. And Fenrir went, ate the hand. That's why Tyr's so cool. And when I was writing the book about the about Vinland, my priest character was a priest of Tyr, and he, like, their right, it's probably not actual true, but I just felt right, their right to become a god of Tyr was to cut a hand off. But the fable about Tyr, that is absolutely true. It's one of the sagas. No idea about the mod, but if you follow Fallout lore, you should get a very good General Field Marshal Joshua Graham. Yeah, though it depends on whether they follow actual stats being good. Like Broken Coast, you start off with Brute the Brute and whatever the boss man's name was, Raven, who aren't actually that good generals. Yeah, they're high level, they start level 6, but if they were level 6, they should actually have way more stats than they do. It's one of my pet peeves. I'm very pedantic when it comes to generals and things, because I like investing time in like building them up and then choosing which general should be commanding which units. So when it's not done optimally, it's irritating because there's no real reason for it. Left or right hand? I think it was the right hand, but I'm not so sure. Have I seen the Machinima series done on Smite? I have not. Tyr's the one who has a common etymological origins as Zeus, Divas, and Pi word for God. That I don't know. I just know that Tyr is one of the older, if not the oldest, Norse gods, in terms of how long people from the Norse regions worshipped them. As I said, he was the precursor to Odin. Over time, Odin took his place and became the king of the gods, but he used to be Tyr. Caesar's Legion declared war on the Hangdogs. The Valet Bandits joined the Phantasma Cartel. So Phantasma Cartel, I'm guessing, is these two together? Yeah. I really want to see these two actually last a bit longer against the NCR than they do. Because there are some really crazy stories about NCR Rangers going to these regions and getting just completely destroyed. So I feel like these should have like a bonus to attrition or something. Although I guess you don't want to weaken, especially against the AI, the NCR that much. Ogden, the name of the old world settlement in which we created the city that we know as New Canaan. So there you go. I knew that Ogden came up at some point. Few buildings in Ogden survived the massive nuclear warhead that hit the city, and even fewer survived the decades of harsh weather and scavenging that followed the bombs. One of these buildings, however, is the Ogden Armory, once a small National Guard armory and headquarters. The rapid militarization of the United States preceding the Great War developed the armory into a sprawling complex that coordinated most of the National Guard activity in the Utah area. Whilst the ground levels of the armory have mostly been cleared out by scavengers long before our arrival, the lower levels require a degree of expertise to access the most common scavengers lack. As a result, it's recently been discovered that there is a substantial cache of weapons and supplies under the armory, a cache that is ours for the taking. New Canaan starts adding composite materials. That's cool. Those are fairly rare. Reference manual. What was that? Ah, that was the decryption. Let's get encryption too. Why not? Doing the groceries online, we have a cheese called the Petit Billy, which translates to Little Billy. NCR declared war on the Valet Bandits. I wonder if part of the problem is the capital is right here, and it is worth a lot of victory points. And then in that war... Are the Valet bandits considered the war leader? Or a major power? No, the Paz bandits are. No, Valet has already lost half of their strength. Because the capital's gone. Yeah, that's a problem. 6 of their factories. Straight away. Poor Valley bandits destined to just be a roadblock. Well, that's the problem. They're hardly a roadblock. Battle plans. Plus 20 max planning. Don't mind if I do. Brace the followers. Refined mixture. Cool. So we just got a bunch of upgrades to our medical powers. Grant the followers bases or train frontline medics. Followers of the apocalypse will make a home in your land, unlocking decisions to interact with them. I would like to do that, but I feel like I should probably start to do some of the other focuses, like bargaining with traders. Which increases the relations with our neighbours. Also gives us some more civilian factories. That's plus 10 decadence. That gives you a factory. This gives 2 factories. I feel like they need to buff this side. Especially as you're gaining decadence for doing it, and this side you're not. It just doesn't feel that good. Like 1 factory... 5% more infrastructure production. That's literally it. Needs to be more. Bargain with the traders. We can exploit our position along the Waste's trade routes to gain money to fund our army. It is what Brigham Young would have wanted. Doesn't the NCR suffer a defeat down in Baja according to the law? Yeah, they do. I think it's the leader of the Rangers who was the one who suffered the defeat. I think that's why he's so... What's the word? Cautious? And no spoilers to that. I know he's an important character and I haven't reached that yet. So no spoilers. Washington Brotherhood declared war upon the cause. Poor old cause. Your cause is to be conquered. Secret language. That is the other decryption. Those are really fast. Still ahead of time. Albeit only just. Militia training time. Yeah. Oh, no. We could also get the production efficiency cap upgrade. Let's do that. Automation. While we're still nice and early. They really need to boost the 2 Baja California factions. Yeah, I feel like they do. I mean, look how quickly they're getting conquered. The scavengers found something. In the ruins of an ancient factory, our scavengers found pre-war goods. Time will tell whether it was worth the blood and sweat we paid for it. We didn't pay any. Gains Jeffrey Beatty, which grants civilian to military faction construction cost, military, civilian factory, and dockyard construction speed for 180 days. Send out scavengers with vehicles. Is that really very good? I'm not actually that convinced. Because I'm still very much in the infrastructure construction phase. Because our self-sufficient society is such a big penalty. Like, that just reduces it to minus 30. No, it's still not worth doing. I remember a time when the NCR was only a blip on the map called Shady Sands. I don't actually know where that is. That's the Boneyard, which is LA. Right? Tier 1 is down there. Greater Dayglow, that must be San Diego. Shady Sands. Sacramento? No, Sac City is Sacramento. I don't actually know what Shady Sands is. What city is that? Before I look at chat, I'm going to look at a map and see if I can work it out. Not looking at chat. I'm ignoring you. Los Angeles is there. Fresno? Yeah, it's Fresno. Yeah, that's definitely Fresno. Kind of dips in just north of Monterey, which is a nice area. Dips in just north of Monterey. Yeah, that's 100% that is Fresno. Because it's a very industrial, sorry, a very urban area. And that's usually because it's an old ruin as opposed to actually a thriving city. Has the black market updated at all? No. It feels a bit weird that I've not been able to order any more equipment because I've definitely got the caps for it. Wait, one of them become the Khans? They've moved a ways then, haven't they? Great Khans are over here now. The Vipers. I thought the Vipers were a Wasteland clan, though. Shady Sands is Fallout. Because it's the Vipers and somebody else. It's definitely Desert Rangers. That's Wasteland. That's not Fallout. Great Khans almost get wiped out in Fallout 1. Interesting. One of these days, maybe I'll get around to it, though. Considering how long it's taking me to play through Vegas, I wouldn't put my hopes up too much. Vipers and the Khans come from the same vault as the Fountains Shady Sands come from. Interesting. Work assignments and gliders. Can I research? Yes, I can. More advanced aircraft, and we'll start actually producing some, I think. Those are still marginally ahead of time. However, I feel like this would be a good opportunity to get militia training. Bargain with the traders. Traders have been bargained with. We're going to preach to the caravans. We're going to get those. Is there something I'm missing here? Oh, yeah, I am, actually. This is actually minus 6% consumer goods factories as opposed to minus 3. It's effective change. Because currently it's minus 3. So taxing the roads is minus 6 consumer goods. It's plus 6 resources to market, I think. And trade deal opinion factor would also go up. Okay, so it does reduce the consumer goods requirement. Which right now is 31%. So we go down to 28. Is that worth it for the Decadence, though? Decadence clutches increases consumer goods factories. No, it really isn't. Because that's just going to go up. That's a 5. So I'm guessing another 5 is another 2% consumer goods, so it barely cancels out. I guess it's good for the stability, so if you want a very, very stable society, maybe? And stability does also reduce consumer goods usage and output. It does give you a lot of factory output. No, I'm not convinced. I'm going to preach to the caravans. Tax the road just feels right. That just feels right. This one definitely needs to be built up. 5 decadence for 1 civilian workshop? Eh. 3 of those groups become roving gangs of raiders, the Jackals, the Vipers, and the Khans. Well, it's really interesting that it's the Jackals and the Vipers, and thank you, it is the Jackals that are in Wasteland. Just remember Junktown, where Colonel Jack O'Neill is the sheriff. Really? That's funny. Preach to the caravans, the message of wealth and caps. There you go, you've sold me. We pay for our goods and treat our caravan as square, which is all most of them care about. Perhaps some of them were also open to the words of the Lord. And he said unto you, go forth and make me money. What is the next? Oh, you know what? We need a... No, not Chief of Air Force. We need the Air Designer. Aircraft Company, Victoria Flyers. Yeah, because we want our CAS, and they're going to be great if we do this. So we definitely want the Victoria Flyers in place before we actually start getting aircraft, which is going to be soon. We can get aircraft surprisingly early. Apparently they originally wanted to make siding with Killian actually lead to a worse outcome than siding with Gizmo, but they didn't want to feel like they were punishing the player for their choices. Ah, we have stuff made. Let's go ahead and deploy you. And begin your training as well. The next thing I want to do is change you two to be Tribal Faithful. And eventually we will probably upgrade the Tribal Faithful to become Specialists. And can I have a better name than Motorized? No, not really. The Scavenger's Triumph. The city is a very ancient factory. Our scavengers found pre-war goods. What do we get? What do we get? What do we get? Our technology. Stent Security Solution Schematics. I'm guessing that's one of the back page. Yeah, it is. I'm guessing that's one of these. It is. Infantry Technology Research Time plus 15%. That is really quick. So sending out vehicles to go scavenging is apparently very, very good. I mean, the one I really want is the H&H Tool Company. Arcjet would also be good. Alright, let's send out some more scavengers. We'll send them manually this time. I'm assuming vertibirds are at this. Yes, they are. So the game-breaking bugs have been fixed and this is a new try. This is a new try. I'm hoping that they've been fixed. Sir. This is with the latest version, regardless. Still haven't been able to get any more infantry equipment. Possibly because their amount is so low, they just keep running out. That's possible. Alright, caravans have been successfully preached to. White Legs, are you getting at all angsty? You've started. Did that get better? Funnel trade to the rural areas. This isn't even a... This side is so much stronger than this side. They really need to boost the tax the road side. Due to the poor infrastructure, much of Utah is too difficult for caravanners to travel to. They'd lose more than they'd ever earn going there, but we can clear the old roads and perhaps build some new to remedy that. Yes, we have a lot of telephones. Hey there. At some point we probably should start trying to recruit some new generals too, but that can wait. The Anointed have changed their, or cancelled their non-aggression pact. That's these guys. Yeah, we can't justify war goals until we have 100 world tension. Until there is 100 world tension. New Canaan is definitely a reactive as opposed to proactive nation. We've got 500 available now. Oh, that's how many are required to actually do this. So, why can't I do this? Automation done. Right. It is now January, which means that these are available. First thing I want, dynamite. Dynamite! The NCR took 10 states, Paz, Bandits and Valor Bandits were annexed. Okay, that took a little bit longer than it often does. 80s declared war on Ruby Valley, Vault City declared war on Cyclops. And all of that results in 6% world tension. Chichen Itza declared war on La Tierra de los Tzoltzil. And we've got some battle plans. Field fortifications. Do it. Militia training and motorized flight. Okay, next up, we probably want fire teams, or maybe mongrels. Let's get the mongrels. And triplane attackers. Which path do I plan on going? If that's something beyond here, I don't know yet. Because I haven't experienced that, no spoilers. Ogden Armory, followers get bases. Yeah, I actually kind of want to give them bases. The followers, although odd, seem to be good folk. They don't worship so much as follow a set of principles. They want to bring peace back to the wasteland. The world tends towards destruction, so they try to make a difference. There's nothing wrong with that. The 80s took 3 states. Ruby Valley Refuge were annexed. The scavengers found something. We got Nathan Harrison, which gives factory output plus 10% for 180 days. Cool. Also, we finished here, so I think it's going to be time for us to get the Stent Security Solutions, as we are doing quite a lot of infantry technology right now. And then once we have the political power, we can start scavenging with vehicles once again. And I just missed it. It popped up for a second. Although, honestly, I'm using my caps for scavenging. But scavenging is definitely not a source of materials and equipment like it once was.
Sir?
You guys are all done training. Good stuff.